Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to my Pixel Quest. It's wonderful to have you joining me again, coming aboard on our journey in our blind playthrough of The Return of the Obra Dinn. Thank you so much for making the time. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. I really appreciate it. Now we are gonna go into another episode in just a moment, just to give me and you a few seconds to spend a little time with this song that I love so much. I actually think that this might be one of those episodes where we try a monitor setting that we haven't tried before. We've actually tried most of them, so I actually think I'm going to go Zenith, which is probably one of the slightly harder to see ones, but we're going to do it for one episode. Just for a little bit of experimentation, just for a little bit of spice, Let's continue. Ding ding. Okay, now I'm very, very, very excited. Look at our golden ship now. Let's imagine this is like golden sunlight. Very atmospheric. There's quite a few things that I want to check in this episode. I want to go over. I want to confirm a few things at the end of the last episode. So first off, in the last episode, just through going back through several memories that I'd entered before, I found a few new things, and I found an entire new section of a memory that I had not gone back to before. So that was amazing and really interesting. And also I wanted to kind of talk you guys through, after the previous episode where we had like 12 new fate confirmations, I wanted to sort of go back through one by one to see, like, where am I at with the rest of them? Where am I at with how far through am I with confirming different fates, with filling in different fates, with having a guess at them, and how do I feel about whether I might take some next steps or not? Now, what I established at the end of the last episode is that... Hi, Alfred. So first off, we finally, the last thing we did is we filled in John Davies here, which, has obviously been one of my longest, most sure, I've had such confidence that this is the fourth mate for such a long time. However, it was more recently, it was confirmed actually through, I think Olus's fate here. That was confirmed, and it sort of confirmed this kind of guess here. Anyway, at the end of the last episode, I was going through, and I've established that I believe I have 4 fully filled in fates here. Now that's enough to know, I already knew that something was wrong, but that's enough to know absolutely, that, so the interesting thing is that the one that I know, that I am the closest to knowing is wrong, and I think I know how to correct it, even that is not the only one that's wrong. So that's interesting to me. We filled this in. Now, surely this is correct, right? This is John Davies, who I have long suspected was John Davies, and is confirmed here as John Davies. So this surely should be super, super highly confirmed information here. Clubbed? Yeah, he's getting clubbed in the face. That's his death. That's his death right there. He's getting clubbed in the damn face. What's all this, you damn fool? It's pretty clear. And he's being clubbed by Brennan. And Brennan is also confirmed. Brennan is... I can't remember the exact trail that we followed to confirm Brennan. However, here he is. Confirmed. So I'm just eyeballing that. Confirmed. We can say, surely, that this fate here is correct. I'm locking it in. Now that still means, because I have 3 others that are fully filled in, the steward who was crushed by the loose cannon, I think is the one that is definitely incorrect, and I think I know what the correction is there. However, that knowing, with this one being correct, there are 3 others. So it means that even with the steward one being the one that I am sure, I hope this explanation is not too confusing for you. I've got 4 filled in. I'm so sure this one is correct, but then there's 3 others. So even if we accept that the steward loose cannon identification is incorrect, that still means that my fate, the fate that I have given to the butcher and the fate that I have given to the ship steward are one of them. There's some detail in one of them that is incorrect. So I'm really curious to go back through this. Have I incorrectly assessed this one? Because I got to say, I did feel pretty good about this one. But now I feel pretty good about the butcher, Emil. So this one is my next candidate for the thing I think is incorrect. We can see him falling overboard. Again, as I've said many times, I don't know if it's to his death, but I don't know how else to describe what's happening to him in the context of the game. So maybe this is one of those tricky things where actually he escapes and comes back or something like that, right? Maybe he's a clever, resourceful guy, and actually that's not his death. And our magic clock is saying this is not his death. It could be something tricky like that. It could be a tricky game dynamic. However, on the face of it, with the way everything else has worked, I would have to say, indeed, he fell overboard to his death, because it has been the case with others. So I'm thinking his name. Now, what I've got to do for myself is go back to why I even made that assessment in the first place. So let's check out our manifest. I think, so let me check. We have several people from India, but they're a friend group, and I believe they have all been confirmed. These are a friend group. They sleep together. They hang out together. They've all been confirmed. They're always together. They're together in the sketch. They're always together. Aside from them, we only have Zungi Sathi, the ship steward, from India. Right? Or have I made a huge mistake? Is there another country here? And I'm just playing the game, right? Like, I, as a person, am perfectly... Omid Ghul. Persia? Like, I myself am, of course, perfectly willing to believe that somebody's birthplace and their cultural identity, and any other number of factors, changes in family, changes in where they live, might all contribute to somebody looking not, looking or dressing or acting differently to what you might assume, like, someone from a particular country might look or dress like at this time. Like, even during this time, there were anomalies. People lived in different places. People had change of circumstances, were moved. All of those things occurred, identified in different ways. It happens. However, so far in this game, there hasn't really been any big surprises that way. So rather than Zungi, Omid? Maybe that makes a lot of sense, because Omid is a topman. And actually, we do see this guy doing a lot of things that topmen seem to do. So that could very well be it. Now that makes me really curious who the ship's steward is. But we have so many confirmations now that I think we have, we can have a good little stew over what that might mean. Again, this isn't confirmed, but as far as I'm concerned, this is confirmed. Sorry, not the steward. I'm talking about the mates. Yeah. John Davies and Martin, they're not confirmed fates in the game's, technical book, but they are in my book. These are confirmed, for example. Anyway, where is Omid? This would make a lot of sense. All right, great. You're Omid. I was calling you Zungi. Apologies. I thought you were the ship's steward. Emil, I was so sure of that one, and I would say I was 100% confirmed John Davies. So there we go. Nice. Now that makes a lot of sense with the one that I knew was wrong, which was the steward. And on that note, so I've been saying a lot how I was reluctant to make a call on our two stewards here that I have very strong suspicions on. However, I do have extra information on this now, because I know from what we just experienced with having 4 fates filled in and not having them confirmed, I know that this is incorrect 100%. So we know that this isn't Samuel, because he most definitely is crushed by a loose cannon. So in that case, given that we've seen him in 2 different scenarios next to the 4th mate, along with having it confirmed that it is not Samuel, I'm going to go ahead and say, third mate, not 4th mate, third mate, yeah? Third mate, yeah, because our 4th mate is hanging around with this kid a lot. The 3rd mate, Martin, it's Roderick. This is Roderick. This is Roderick. Roderick, hello. Welcome to Roderick, everybody. Welcome to Roderick Anderson. I'm so sure this is not Samuel, and that I was always very, very tenuous on whether that was an Irish accent that the guy had. It's obviously not a huge... Look, how can I explain this? It wasn't an obvious Irish accent by any stretch of the imagination. However, there are Irish people who have who have different accents, and some of them have very light accents that, kind of don't sound dissimilar to the sort of accent that this guy had. Anyway, so that's where I was going with that. But I am now fairly sure that this is Roderick. This is Roderick, and I think our other steward... But just let me pull up the sketch. So we know this is Paul. I think this is Roderick. I think this is Samuel. And by extension, that makes this guy the other one. I can't remember the name of the other steward, but that makes him the other one. So this is... Yeah. Now, while we've got the sketch up... who how am I going to phrase this? Who is a good candidate for the ship's steward? Who is a good candidate for the ship's steward? As it has turned out, I was right on the money with the mates. The mates all have a similar kind of hat. They have a hat that is, I think somebody said this is a bifold hat. I don't know if this is also a bifold hat, if it's folded at the front and the back, but either way, they've either got hats that are folded on the side and are either pointed straight ahead or are pointed to the side. Those are mates. We've got the gunner and the gunner's mate who are here next to the gunners. Of course, it makes perfect sense. In retrospect, however, the thing is, this is when you don't know that information, when everything is open, you can't make too many. I mean, it's not a good idea, I suppose, for me, for the way that I want to approach this game. Like, I could still imagine things all being, very different. Now that I know, now that these are confirmed, it's like, oh yeah, like, of course it makes sense that the mate is standing next to the gunner. But, like, look, here we have a 4th mate who's not standing with the other mates or or the captain or anything like that, you know? So there's a lot of like, yeah, it's hard to know whether you're looking at something that that is an anomaly or there's some other reason for it, or yeah, you don't know what you're going to be faced with when what you have in front of you is just an openness, like an open possibilities. However, you know, we're comfortable saying these are the stewards, at least I am. These are the mates and the captain. These are the midshipmen, we've come to know. There's a lot of groupings. Probably these are 2 topmen, though I haven't identified them yet. There's a very good chance this is the freaking helmsman, who just can't keep his hand off that wheel. But obviously I can look at this and go, maybe that's the helmsman. But that's, you know, as I've said, that's not how I want to play the game. Like, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more confirmation about who the helmsman is. He's even like about here in the part 3 of the murder memory. He's here on the ground with his leg stabbed, potentially indicating that he was standing here at the wheel, you know, and he's had his leg stabbed. But is that enough for moi? Is that enough for moi to go ahead and say helmsman? It's enough for me to tell you I think he's the helmsman. I don't know. I think Henry Evans is probably going to die of old age. I think he's going to expire, but I'm not ready to put it down. We know this is Duncan the purser, so he's accounted for. Now, what does that sort of leave us with? We've got Alfred, bosun here. We've got Lars. Lars, regular Danish seaman. We've got Carpenter, and Carpenter's mate confirmed. We have Kidd. Is Kidd the ship steward? I'm calling him Kidd. I mean, he's clearly young, right? I don't know how old this is meant to be. Is he actually meant to be like an 18-year-old, or is he like a 13-year-old? Is he a 15? I don't know. He's young. He's young. To me, he looks like a kid. Like, there's no other candidate here that I would say seems to me like ship steward. I don't really know what ship steward is going to look like. I mean, this guy is probably, actually, is he confirmed? No, he's not actually confirmed by the game, but like, you know, he's being dragged away and the captain said, "You were my steward." So, you know, like, we're all fairly sure that this is Philip Dahl, the captain's steward, right? And he's just here having a dance. He's just having a dance here. Like, he's not even in this scene down there. So I now know this is Omid Ghoul, but before it didn't seem strange to me that he might be the ship's steward. Like, maybe this seems like a crazy thing to you, and I'm sure to many of you it does. But like, I can believe that he, you know, someone like this could have been a trusted steward. But now I know he's Omid, topman. Speaking of which, Maba, topman. Nicholas, topman. This guy, you know, good chance he's also a topman. We should sure, if this guy is not a topman, I don't know. I will turn my head around 180 degrees. Like, so I've never met anyone who's more of a top than this guy. This guy is a top. We know Nunzio. We know James. You know. So there's a lot of, and obviously these two they're going to be relatively fancy ladies. They wouldn't be on this ship if they weren't. So there's a lot of mixing, you know, up here. I tend to think that a lot, maybe, I'm just going to share this with you. I tend to think that probably a lot of the nicer people are up here. I tend to think a lot of the nicer people here, they're more willing to mix and to, first off, to let go, to have fun. They're more willing to come and mix with, you know, the other people in the ship. They're probably more friendly. They're probably more open. And for me, that fits my understanding of this guy's profile so far because he seems to be the one that has a lot of good sense. He seems to be the one who knew these shells are going to bring doom. Why are you not listening to me, Captain? You know, even though I've been your trusted, I don't know, steward, advisor, whatever, for a long time. We've had a long relationship. You trust me, and all of a sudden now, no. So to me, this speaks to him being, this is a guy who's just a bit more switched on. You know, he's a bit closer to reality. He's probably a bit wiser, and that probably means he's a nicer person who's willing to make connections with people. Whereas perhaps at least some of these people are a bit stiffer, a little bit more, you know, I don't know, a little bit less willing to be friendly. And we certainly know some of these people willing to be quite, you know, they're willing to stab Nunzio, quite frankly. Willing to stab Nunzio. Willing to help somebody who stabbed Nunzio. You know, willing to kidnap people. Willing to cower when they're, you know, when their comrades are being attacked by mer people. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's a mix. I think Alfred also seems to be a pretty wise guy, you know, so it's not, I'm not saying there's a split, this is the good people and the bad people, absolutely not, but I think that there's just a little tendency in some of these, you know, sort of groupings. I don't think Fourth Mate, I don't know, I'm so curious about this character so much. I don't think Fourth Mate agrees with a lot of what's going on, and I think this is represented in him standing apart from the other mates. To be honest, I don't really know if Martin agrees with it either, but he's probably just kind of like, yeah, as long as things are normal, I'm just sort of doing my job, you know. Anyway, this is how I'm sort of like feeling about some of the things going on here. So maybe Kid is ship steward. Maybe this is helmsman. Maybe this is ship steward. Who else would it be? But I wouldn't have suspected this guy being captain steward, and here we are. So who knows? Who knows? But I think that we've got a lot more, I think we're at the stage where we've got a lot more clarity about we are at the stage where we have a lot more clarity about what's going on, who's with who, what kind of groupings are we seeing here? You know, is this the brother? Probably right. Probably these are the two Peters. But I really want to know a bit more about this story. I really want to know a bit more about this story. So I think like there's a lot more sifting. There's a lot more elimination that can happen here. All right. So we've got these two. I think these are the Peters, but I want to know more. I want to know more about the Peters. These people are of sincere interest to me. We've got the foremost in royalty as well, of course. You know, I know who these two. These two. I know who these two women are, and I have been since like what, episode 2 or something, fairly sure I know which one is which. I think this is the Miss, and this is the one that doesn't have Miss on her name, because she's probably a married woman, and she's probably married to, well, who's the guy who seems like her husband? Where is he? It's been a really long time since I've looked at that memory, quite frankly, but who is he on this sketch? Who is that guy? I cannot recall, because I've come so far in the game since I last considered this. Is her husband like one of this guy? No, that's Henry. It's someone with isn't it an older guy with a moustache? Who is that guy? I might actually I gotta go and have a look, guys. I gotta go and have a look. It's been forever. It's been forever since I have seen... There's several memories we can see him in. But Abigail's is certainly one of them. Hello, definitely Martin. It's you. You did not have a moustache at all. Okay. It's been so long since I've revisited this person. It's Paul. Paul the steward. I had been thinking, like when I saw this, I just went, this seems like husband and wife, daughter. Husband, wife and daughter. Is her husband Paul the steward? But why would, why does it like bring your family to work? Voyage. But he is on the ship leaving, like here he is with them. To me, protecting them. Maybe they've all come out of this room together. Like, I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. So that's you, but you are also in the escape memory getting on the dinghy. You are on the dinghy with them. You're all escaping together. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So that's a very interesting thing to revisit right there. How long? Oh my god, how nostalgic to come back to the end. Okay. Well, I am really curious to revisit that now. I just need to have a little look at kind of even like the body language and things. This one? This one will do. It's this one or...
Let them go!
He's so angry. He's so angry. She say no. Now, that's... That's where I made my critical mistake. That's where I had the memory he had a moustache. It was two freaking different guys, and this is in fact Henry. Okay, so Henry escapes with them. Henry escapes with them. It doesn't tell me like what their story is, but so Paul is still here. Paul still defends them. The kid is here. And the younger woman is down there. What's your deal? What's the deal with this grouping of people? And with their escape, And with Paul. This is so fascinating. Okay, so that's good to clear up. That's good to clear up.
Last one. Move quick.
United the last boss.
Now this woman, like, damn, that's the guy. That's the dam after getting stabbed. Okay, look. In a way, you sort of have to read into the gestures, that we see here. She's reaching out to Paul here. Paul is defending them. She's reaching out to Paul. She cares about Paul. Of course she does. Paul has been with them in some vicinity, helping them, defending them, I don't know what. However, is it that she's reaching out with even more caring than that? Is it a romantic relationship between her and Paul? Did they have a little ship romance? Because Paul Moss where are we? Emily Jackson, Miss Jane Bird. Jackson, Bird, Moss. You know, it seems like no one is married here. But I'm going to say that she seems to be showing him a lot of care. She seems to be showing a great deal of concern. I don't know. It might be... The fact that Henry's here might simply be, you know, Henry's escaping. You know, same as the purser. The purser's getting on an available boat and leaving. But the connection between these two people, to me, seems strong, seems unavoidable, unavoidably compelling. Especially since after this guy is stabbed, not only is she, like, if she was simply trying to get away, she wouldn't be up here, I don't think. I don't think she would be up here reaching out with a dangerous person with a sword who is murdering somebody. She's reaching out because she really cares about Paul. And right after this, she grabs a gun and she shoots this guy. I don't think it's just out of fear. It could be, but I don't think it is. I think it's because she is filled with a deep rage that Paul is gone. And she is exacting an emotional, like a, an emotional revenge on, is it Leonard? Leonard here? Yeah. Interesting. So the kid is now further on the ship. So he comes up after this. You know, is he connected with them? Is he just escaping with them? I had originally thought, like, my feelings were, you know, oh, this is a family, mother, daughter, father, child. I think that might be kind of, or way off. Okay, really interesting to revisit though. Really interesting to revisit. What else is going on in this bit? Yeah. Yep. And then where is that door? Our door is here. Okay, so that was really good to revisit because I do think I would guess that we're going to find more out about these people in chapter 1. I think so. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm really curious to check on is I really want to follow up with our captain's steward, because he is a super person of interest in some of the most recent events. So that is... which chapter is that? The calling is all in the ocean. Unholy captives. Yeah, it's the... So John Naples' death down here. 20 years my steward, and never a doubt on your sanity. I suppose he doesn't say you've always been a great steward. He just says I didn't doubt your sanity. Still, though, man, it's a big reaction. It's a big reaction to throw your steward into the freaking lazarette with, like, fish that have just murdered several people. Alright, so I need to see this as well. Especially since I have to think about this line right here. Okay. So that's leg. That's leg. We're going to visit the leg. We're going to visit the leg again. The leg is down here. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. All right.
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down. What madness is this?
Captain can't believe
20
it.
years my steward had never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse! Throw them back or doom us all!
So what has he done?
And put him in the lazarette with those things.
Alfred is
Yet find his
getting the
senses.
ropes ready.
All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
Okay. Now, we've got a lot more context for things going on here. However, I have a couple of big questions. One is who... Let me remember who is in this scene. Who is calling them fools? This is one. The second is what has the steward done? It's not just... The steward hasn't just gone... Throw the shells over. The shells are bad, Captain. Throw them over. And the captain's gone, oh, that's it. Into the lazarette you go. The steward has done something. I am curious if we can work out what the steward has done. Now, this is fourth mate over here. Again, standing aside, watching proceedings, being observant, possibly judging. You know, French guy's just doing what he's been told. Alfred's just doing what he's been told. I don't know if being able to see in here matters at all, or if it's simply like... I mean, it does seem odd that they have let us look in here. We cannot wiggle past him, but I don't see anything that seems odd to me. Just Alfred getting rope. Because he's been told to do so. Now, sword. Whose sword? And how has it been used? So let's consider the people that we've got here. All right, the steward at the back. This is John Naples because they call him John. That's what I'm going with. This is Henry, yeah? Henry being a surgeon. Oh, no, sorry, that's not Henry. That's, Henry's the guy standing up. This is surgeon's mate. Makes perfect sense. Surgeon and surgeon's mate here. Cool. And... now the blood drips from back there and it makes sense. It makes sense why. And this is our captain steward, Philip. Now Philip... where are we? Philip. Sweden. I might have checked this before. This I just can't remember exactly, and I'm just wanting to be careful. Is that... where am I? Unholy captives... I'm just going to I'm so sorry. I know that I've probably done this in a past episode, but I just want to double check to make sure I'm not like, missing something or making an assumption that I've done something. I just want to double check. Swedish. Okay. So it's the only thing that makes sense. This is, he's saying you fools. Got it. Swedish guy. So this is all accounted for. This all makes sense. But the thing that doesn't make sense to me, like the people who are accounted for, what they're saying, and largely why they're saying it makes sense. I suppose it doesn't make sense to me how Philip knows this, but let's, I don't know. He's got knowledge. But the major question I have is, why has the captain reacted so badly to him? Now, there's blood drops here, which is not a surprise because this leg ended up like right in front of the lazarette. My original assumption is that the fish had done this, though now I don't know. Now it seems like maybe Philip could it be that Philip cut his leg off? To me, I don't know. How do you tell? How do you tell? I was thinking, when I originally saw this scene, I really thought, okay, they're talking about the beasts. They're talking about the fish. They're talking about the beasts. We see these fish harming so many other people. I just thought, like, that's what's happened to this guy. He's been next to the lazarette where the fish are. But now I'm looking at this again and going, maybe Philip cut his leg off to, like, let's say that this guy, that John was standing guard at the lazarette. Maybe it's so that he could get into, like maybe they got into a fight because Philip wanted to get into the lazarette to either harm the fish or to let them go somehow. So maybe that's what this is. John, have you been torn apart by a beast, or? And then what would I call this? Here's the other thing. What would I call this? What would I call this if that were the case? Hang on. No. There's too many people here. How? What would I call this? Like, killed with a sword? Yes. Yes, but it's not really what you really imagine when you imagine killed with a sword, right? But what else is there? There's torn apart. You wouldn't say torn. If his leg has been cut off by this sword, you wouldn't say torn apart. So I guess, like, there's not really an option here, which is for having one's leg cut off. So maybe we do say killed with a sword, though. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, if he is killed with a sword, my guess for what's going on in this scene is that that's what Philip has done. It's my new guess anyway. It's my revised guess. The problem is, though, that I don't have enough other, like, this may be correct, but I don't have enough other things filled in to see if it's correct. So, but it's kind of, it's just seeming more and more like this is the explanation for what's gone on here. Originally, I just thought, like, Yeah, I don't know. You know, like it was mystery. It was mysterious when I was here before. We knew it was something to do with the fish. The fish were dangerous. Now, the other thing I want to have a think about for myself is the other memories that we see him in. We know that there's one in Soldiers of the Sea, I think, where he's running off. So yeah, this is this one. No. It is the previous part. Okay. Unholy Captives. And I think my memory is that we just see him running in this direction, but we can't see anything more than that. So the assumption is he goes down these stairs to do what he's going to do. But I would like to look at that again. And then we have him... In The Calling, part 6, which is where our second mate gets shot. But where is he? Where is he in this? Up on the deck? Okay, so this is the cook. Okay, I'm really curious to investigate Captain Steward a little bit more. Got it. So I could jump to this one. But it is actually it's the previous one that will have the steward in it. So presumably in this one here, Philip is already down there doing what he's doing in the lazarette, which we cannot access, we cannot get to. No, we cannot. But that's John Naples there. This is John Naples here, carrying this. So it's not like he's guarding the lazarette or anything. He just continues taking these to the lazarette. Now they have a lot of drama here. They have the cook that dies. He trips over the cook with his leg that he's... is it this one or the other one? One of his legs anyway. Trips over the cook. This results in poor... it's William, I think, right? William or... William? We're getting there, everyone. Yeah, William. William gets crushed. So two deaths in very short succession just in this little moment here as they're bringing the fish down. But obviously the intention is that they will take the fish, you know. So they're bringing this fish here. The intention is, the intention is surely that they will continue along this way, I think, bring the fish down the next stairs that lead directly to the lazarette. Down there, I guess, Philip, Captain Steward, is already waiting. Now, William has been taken out of this moment. I mean, I guess what I'm thinking is, how does this work and who goes where? Like, John obviously takes the fish, but he can't do it alone because this is a 4-man job. So, like, who else brings the fish down there, and why in particular does John get his leg cut off? Is kind of where I'm going with this. I don't know. It may be that there are people who help take the fish down there. they're loosely involved in what happens, but like, you know, they're not really, they don't stay in that next scene. They disperse before the scene after this. You know, maybe it's not worth really thinking about. Oh, excuse me. Maybe it's not really worth thinking about, but it's just interesting. This is the sequence of events I'm working with here, right? So John must continue with some others to carry this fish down to the lazarette, and that's obviously where he is attacked, probably by Philip. I think pretty much everyone else here is accounted for, right? That's the purser. Yeah. It's the very next thing. So there's no in-between moment. There's no way, because all of this is cut off, there's no way to get any insights into what's going on in the lazarette right now. So let's jump into this one. This one is the moment before where we will see Philip running off. There he is. Now he's all the way up here, so he'll run down like basically 2 flights of stairs to get to the lazarette.
What's it, gentlemen? It's a great shell here. Let's have a look. No, get back.
I was just listening to that. Yeah, I guess that's all we can see. So he'll run down to the lazarette from here, full of determination. Midshipmen are discussing midshipmen opinions. This is, yep, that guy. And then back on top deck, all of this is going on. The officers are scratching their chins, thinking, just like me, figuring things out. These two being very gunny. The gun bros. This one, oh yeah, that guy. This is probably the kid. No, of course not. No, that's the, it's like Omid. Yeah, one of the topmen who's about to get speared. This is Lars. And Mystery Man. This is one of the topmen. This is one of the topmen. Maybe. No one is in the boat. And then we've got Alfred, Charles, Henry, surgeon's mate, and Brennan. Good old Brennan. Okay, cool. Just reminding myself. But yeah, like there's just no way to get any insight, any further insight into the steward from this. Before this memory, yeah, he's not in this one. Probably because we can't look in the lower deck. It's probably just people who are up above. And that's it. That's what I've got to work with. But what I wanted to do was check out the other memory that he's a part of, which is show memories. Where are you, Philip? You're also in the calling. All right, this is of great interest to me. So for this one, I think we can go above. Not quite yet. No, not quite yet, not quite yet. No, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Except where's my door? My door is over here. Let's run with Philip. Great. Thank you, Leg. Thank you, Leg, once again. I think this is making more sense to me. And now let's go back up top. And let's check out this moment.
Ahoy!
Well, back. Here's the captain.
Ahoy!
The copper's aboard!
Wait! Don't shoot!
Avast!
I have treasure! I yield!
Hold your fire!
No, says Guy. Okay. Now, so that's him. That's is it Chiotan shooting him there? This is fourth mate. What's going on? What's going on with you? What are you thinking and up here? Aha. Yep. I'm sure I've seen this before, but I'm thinking about it in a slightly different way now. I don't think. Hang on. How can I even? I'm so sure that that's Philip. Philip. Trying to zoom in on you, my friend. So I can't actually even zoom in on him from here. But, you know, look. 3 others were present. Yeah, it's Philip. So, there we go. Now, by this stage, I'm so curious. Like, Philip sees them arriving. He sees this scene. You know, like, they're coming back. Obviously, there's been terrible disaster here. People are dead. There are mer people, you know, who are also dead. But I wonder, like, is it simply seeing this? Is it simply seeing this that makes him think, like, someone's got to do something about this and it's going to be me? Or does he have prior knowledge? Yeah, I don't know. Curious. Even just thinking, like, why has second mate come back? You know, why would he come back after committing, like, you know, a crime that's definitely going to get him executed, most likely, right? So yeah, super interesting. I think I'm thinking about that scene down there in a whole new way now. Okay, alright. I think that's made me totally rethink things. Alright. I think that given the way that scene has gone down. Hang on, can we go down here? Given the way that this scene has gone down, here is most definitely where I next need to find something. And is it another death? I thought I had looked carefully, but maybe I haven't. Like, this is just... This is just where the thing is missing. I mean, they show us this. They show us this in the memory. What? I am so silly. The whole time I thought it was the spider in the other room. This is just it. That's why they show us. Wow. Ooh. Oh, hello. Oh, this is great music. I love this instrument. I love it so much. I liked the first part. I like the second part. Sorry, I'm paying so much attention to the music. Loose cargo. Here we go. So this must be the Peters. This must be the Peters brother. Get squished here in a horrible, horrible scene. Oh my god. Ah! No! I spent most of my time listening to the music. Yay! Oh my god. Oh, guys, that must have driven you crazy. It's driving me crazy. Ah, it's because, like, at the last time I came in here and, like... Victory music. The last time I properly came in here was just before I found the spider. And once I found the spider in the other room, you know, the spider crustacean, I was like, oh, that's what the little, that's what the watch was finding. But in hindsight, yeah, of course, like the spider is on the outer wall, not on the inner wall between these two sections of this, this cargo area. Or what do they call it? Like the bosun's area. The bosun's store or something. Oh, but it really was just that. But it really just doesn't look like there's anything here. But it was revisiting that scene and rethinking about it and going, why, at first... So just to give, it's probably, maybe it's obvious to you, but like just to give a little explanation. The first time I really went into that scene, there were so many unknowns. So I was like, oh, cool, we'll find stuff out as we go. But I'm getting hints here about who the captain steward is. This guy's lost his leg, probably because of the things they keep in the lazarette. We hadn't even really seen them at that stage. And then most of my looking, like most of my time looking at that scene wasn't about what had happened around it, but it was about the identities of the people in it. But now that I have so much more confirmed, of course, I'm able to sort of pick it apart more carefully and go, okay, so this is the story we're being told here. This is the new information. Why are things arranged the way that they are? Got it. So I had thought, like a couple of episodes ago, that the padlock would be removed to allow us to get into the lazarette. But no, indeed, it is the way that the whole rest of the game is. There was another desk to find, and yet it was just hardly visible. Anyway, check this out. Loose cargo. We're finally here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this terrible thing that has happened to you. Hoist away, lower away. So that's, I was too busy being excited, so I didn't, I don't have enough memory of this, of the sound here, but maybe that is Lars that is saying that. I don't know, because Lars is the one who gets accused of this death. An unidentified stowaway, eh? So maybe this is not the Peter's death, is it? An unidentified stowaway expecting... Is this the... No. 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 Hang on. This is very interesting. I had always thought it would be cool if there was a stowaway on this ship. Like, it would throw a real spanner into the works. Here we are with the spanner. An unidentified stowaway expecting free passage and eventual freedom was instead crushed inside a falling barrel. So are you telling me, game, that there is somebody crushed by the cargo here, and yet there is also somebody crushed inside the barrel at the same time, and that's why they're in the freaking barrel? That is wild. That's wild. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I have to see. Is this Lars? Well, there's a few people. Okay. Oh, that's so interesting that all of this opens up to allow the cargo to go up and down. Of course it makes sense. Yep, that is Lars. That is Lars. And so one of these people has to be also the witness who said, I saw it all, and it wasn't him. There's probably too many. Maybe I can go up from here. Oh, there's so many. There's so many people. There's so many things to see, to see and explore here. This is our witness. This is our witness. All right. There's so many things to see here, but I'm gonna have to let this go, or the watch is never gonna leave me alone. It's this. It's this. I guess we're doing it. I didn't even take a close look at them. I'm fairly sure I know who it is. I reckon it's the guy who's standing next to our original Peter's brother. Whee! In... There we go. Yeah, in the sketch. But we're going to have to find all of this out in the next episode. I'm sorry, it's very exciting, but we're going to have to leave it here. Finally, I think I'm starting to... It's been good to go back and revise what I know, what I don't know, go back through things. And I think it's now the perfect time to be going forward and collecting new information. I feel happy that I'm going into this with what I think is a little bit more of a solid idea of how things are going down. Oh, so exciting. So good. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. In the freaking barrel. In the barrel of all places. I'd already been there. I just didn't. I thought way back when it was the spider. It was just the spider. Oh, so good. So good. Anyway, this is very exciting. It's going to be so much we're going to learn. Thank you so much for joining me on our Obra Dinn journey. If you've been enjoying the videos, please, I always love it if people can give the videos a like, because it really helps us out to, help the YouTube algorithm spread these videos far and wide and help more people find the channel, help find the series. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and take a look at some of the other playthroughs that we do here. And other than that, I love your comments. Thank you so much. It is a joy to view them and see how you guys are enjoying the playthrough. It really, really warms my heart. Thank you so much. You guys have been so positive, and it's really, really made me happy, and it's great. It's really great to hear from you. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I will see you in the next one for many fun shenanigans. Bye-bye.